Hi everybody, and welcome to Argo Prep's unit of study for the GRE Verbal Reasoning section. This is Lesson 1, our Introduction. Here's a general overview for how we're going to be using time during this unit. Just to stress, this unit is about the multiple choice verbal section. If you're looking for tips on the analytical writing measure, that's our other unit. So go ahead and switch over if you're looking for information about writing. This is about the multiple choice verbal section. So first we'll start with a general intro. That's what you see in the blue box. That's today. And then you'll see we'll move into looking at reading comprehension, then text completion, and then finally sentence equivalence. So throughout this unit we'll talk about each of the different kinds of questions individually. Okay, let's get started. Here's our objective for this lesson. Every lesson in the unit will have a clear objective. By the end of the lesson you should be able to check your notes and make sure that you're able to do the thing that's listed in the objective, or that you know the material that's identified for study. If at the end of the lesson you haven't achieved the objective or don't have that knowledge, you may want to watch the video over or take some more notes. Okay, today's objective is that by the end of the lecture, you'll understand the purpose, goals, and format of the GRE verbal reasoning section. Okay, great. So let's start by just talking generally about the purpose of this section. Why do they make us take this multiple choice part on the GRE? Well, first and foremost, they want to measure your comfort and fluency interacting with written language. So you have to read what other people have written and interact with it. In some cases, you'll be filling in missing information. In other cases, you'll be drawing conclusions about what they're saying. At other times, you'll be evaluating the strengths or weaknesses of the arguments, but all of the tasks are related to your fluency interacting with written language. That's the main purpose of this section. Okay, also, they want to gauge your ability using, understanding, and engaging with advanced vocabulary. Now, everybody out there knows that vocab is a big part of the GRE, right? If you walk around a college campus, you'll always see people studying their flashcards in cafeterias or before classes and so on. So vocabulary is absolutely a piece of this. There are no specific vocabulary questions, but in order to answer any of the different question types, especially text completion and sentence equivalence, you definitely need a strong sense of vocabulary. We're not going to talk about vocabulary building specifically in this unit. We're going to talk about strategies for the test itself. So it might be a good idea to find another resource to use to build your vocabulary. Okay, the GRE is also trying to assess your ability to pick out specific information from a passage. They might give you the main idea and ask you what evidence they use to back themselves up. Or they might ask you which idea comes first in a series of 3, or which is the most important of 3 reasons, etc., etc. So they'll ask you to dive into a passage and pull out something specific, either a specific line they're looking for or some kind of example. And then finally, they want you to show your skills thinking and making inferences as you read, drawing conclusions, figuring out what's unsaid, reading between the lines. If you've looked at our unit of study for the writing exam, you know that we've said over and over again, the GRE isn't just a test about verbal skills and math skills, it's really a test of thinking skills and time management. So a key part of what they're testing here is your ability to think, your ability to manage your time, and your ability to draw conclusions as you read. So overall, the purpose of this test is just to get a nice general overview of your comfort and fluency with written language.
GRE Workbook by Argo Prep. This book is your comprehensive study guide for the GRE exam. Our workbook comes equipped with a comprehensive manual, 3 full-length practice tests, 2 are included in the book and 1 online, and of course video explanations for each of our online test questions. You can visit us at www.argoprep.com to take 1 full-length free GRE exam that comes included with this workbook.
Okay. Next, let's talk about the format of the verbal reasoning section. What should you expect? Well, the format's a little different depending on if you're taking the computer test or the handwritten test. I'm going to assume that most of you are taking the computer test, but we'll touch on both. So the computer test has 2 sections of 20 questions, and you have 30 minutes per section. So that's 1 hour total. So you have 1 hour to answer 40 questions. The paper test, on the other hand, is 2 sections of 25 questions, so a few more questions per section. But in exchange, you get a little extra time. So instead of 20 questions, 30 minutes, it's 25 questions, 35 minutes. So in that case, you would have 70 minutes total for 50 questions. So that's just our general format here. As you see, time management is absolutely an issue, right? You have less than 90 seconds approximately for each question. So you've got to be really, really decisive in addition to thinking deep. Throughout this unit, we'll talk about some strategies we can use to really help you use your time well. So how can you minimize the amount of time that it takes you to answer each question well and correctly? We'll come back to those as we keep moving through the unit though. Let's continue our discussion of format for right now. Okay, so in the verbal reasoning section, there are 3 main types of questions. The first kind is reading comprehension. So reading comprehension is a classic standardized test example, right? You had to do it on the SAT, on the ACT, on any number of tests that you had to take throughout school, throughout elementary, middle, high, and even undergraduate school. So reading comprehension is all about your ability to read something and answer questions on it, right? You need to show that you understood what you read, that you can draw conclusions based on what you read, and that you understand the connections between the different pieces of what you read. So that's one kind of question, reading comprehension. Second one is text completion, and that's asking you to fill in the blanks. So they'll give you a sentence with a missing word, and you have to decide from multiple choices which one is the correct word to fill in that sentence and make it correct and fulfill the author's original intent. And then that final third kind of question is what they call sentence equivalence, and that's choosing 2 different ways of saying something. So it'll give you one sentence, and then you have to choose the words to make the second sentence that means just about the same thing. Okay, so let's move into a little review here, just to touch base quickly what we said to expect on the verbal reasoning section. So overall, you have about an hour, a little more if you're taking the paper test, but exactly an hour if you're taking computer test. It's 40 to 50 questions, 40 for the computer test, 50 for the handwritten test. So time management is important, as we keep saying. And of course, to summarize our other main idea from this lesson, there are 3 different types of questions. Do you remember them off the top of your head? See if you can think of them before I put them down here. Okay, the first one was reading comprehension, right? Being able to read a passage, understand it, analyze it, break it down. The second one was text completion, being able to fill in a sentence, being able to use context clues and your vocabulary knowledge to choose the best words. And then finally, the last one is sentence equivalence, using your vocab, grammar, and critical thinking skills to construct 2 sentences that say the same thing in various different ways. Okay, that's it for our general overview. We're going to continue on in our lesson and start getting really specific about the 3 different kinds of questions you're going to see. We're going to start in our next lesson, lesson 2, by tackling reading comprehension in some depth. We'll go over what kinds of questions appear in the reading comprehension section, and we'll introduce a couple of different strategies for success. Remember, throughout this unit, keep in mind that the GRE isn't just a verbal and math test. It's really a thinking test. And we're going to use some strategies here, or introduce some strategies that are going to help you think more efficiently, use your time better, and really dominate and conquer the verbal reasoning section. I'm excited to go over this material with you. We'll come back together next time. Good luck till then.
Interested in watching our GRE video lectures? Go ahead and go over to our website at www.argoprep.com. ArgoPrep has created a comprehensive review of the GRE exam just for you. Now, Argo Prep offers a range of premium resources from video lectures to full-length practice tests as well as practice questions. Best of all of our questions come equipped with full detailed video explanations, and of course we have a live chat support feature. So go ahead and go over to our website and start chatting with us today.